Ty Lue may very well be the best coach in basketball right now. And what I love about it is that he could have had the Knicks job. No, I'm sorry, not the Knicks job. He should have had the Brooklyn Nets job. That wasn't to be. He should have had the Lakers job. That wasn't to be. But what I love about him right now is that without LeBron James, he's showing his brilliance as a coach and showing that he's a top-notch coach that should have been given far more credit than he ever received. That's number one. Having said all of that, I would tell you it's still the Suns for me as it pertains to the question because of the shooting woes of Devin Booker and Chris Paul, obviously. 5 for 21, 5 for 19, a combined 10 for 40. They haven't missed 30 shots in a game all year long. But that's what happened last night. You can also attribute injuries to it to some degree because Cameron Payne being out after just 4 minutes due to an ankle injury is a tremendous loss. How do we know this? Because in game 2, the brother played 37 minutes backing up CP3, who was out due to COVID. And what happened? This dude drops 29 points, 8 assists without a single turnover. 0 turnovers in 37 minutes. That's a brother you miss when you consider that, particularly when he shot 50% from the field in that game as well, en route to those 29 points. He pushes the ball up the floor. He's aggressive. His aggression and his athleticism can match what the Beverleys and the Terrence Manns of the world may throw at you. And we know they played stout defense on Devin Booker. But let's face reality. If we really calling it like we see it, this dude got his nose broke in game 2. He's playing with a mask on in game 3. So I'll throw him a slight mulligan in that regard. But in the end, it comes down to CP3 and Devin Booker. If they play like that, Phoenix is going to lose this series. They know they have to play better. They have to be better. You can't be that ineffective and that inefficient against these Clippers. We see how exceptionally well coached they are. We see that they're a bunch of rough riders. We see that they're not scared of anything. And you combine that with Booker and CP3 shooting the ball the way that they did. I'm sorry, and let me not forget to put Zubac in there with 16 points, 15 rebounds. We've been raving about DeAndre Ayton, but Zubac showed up last night and was formidable in and of himself. So all of those things played a role.
Well, you can't deny injury. Like Payne and Chris Paul and Devin Booker, you can point to bad luck, and you'd be right. Just like you could point to bad luck with Kawhi, and you'd also be right. I've said from the beginning, injury has completely decided the playoffs this series. Every series, you're seeing the best or second best player on the team out with injury, like starting with the Lakers and KD and AD LeBron and AD, and the Nets, obviously Harden and Kyrie in every series. And this series is no different. But again, the Clippers were on the other end of that when they weren't playing with Kawhi, who they still didn't have. And we didn't, when we were analyzing that game, simply say, well, they don't have Kawhi, therefore we lost. You have to get into why. You're absolutely right to say Devin Booker shows up basically with a broken face and a face mask. It probably affected his shooting. Chris Paul comes off of health and safety protocols, or did he have COVID? I don't know. But clearly he was affected. He was rusty. He was not the usual Chris Paul. Cameron Payne hurt him earlier, and if he's not available, all those things are true. Then the question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you prepared for the opportunity? And a lot of other coaches, Stephen A., other than if it's not Ty Lue, don't have the courage to make those kind of adjustments, the courage of their convictions, and say, nope, we're going to change this right now. Ty Lue does, and he's not afraid to. We think about, and we're going to talk about this later in the show, but the Philadelphia 76ers, do they lose that series if Ty Lue is their coach?
Well, probably not, because Ty Lue probably would have benched Ben Simmons. So that's something that's worthy of pointing out. I don't know the answer to that question. But what I will tell you is this. When you look at these playoffs, we got a Clippers team. Just like I said, these playoffs, are injuries aside, these playoffs have been incredibly thrilling. I mean, right now, night to night, we're looking at the Atlanta Hawks, and I said to you the other day, they could win the championship. Well, guess what? So could the Clippers without Kawhi Leonard.
I don't see him winning the championship without Kawhi, Stephen A.
I didn't say I see it, man. I said they could. That's all I'm trying to say.
Everything's up for grabs.
And what I mean is everything's up for grabs because right now, let's say, for example, Atlanta. Suppose Atlanta beats Milwaukee, and then the Clippers go end up upending Phoenix. And then you got those Rough Riders putting the same kind of defense on Trae Young that we saw them do against Devin Booker over the last 2 games, or to a lesser degree CP3 last night. All I'm trying to say is that it's really up for grabs, and you don't know, which makes it very exciting.
If they can win a championship without Kawhi, put Ty Lue in the Hall of Fame right now. Stephen A., the reason I brought up the Clippers is who was their last coach? Doc Rivers. If Doc was the coach of the Clippers, they'd be down 0-3 right now.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.